1 minute till broadcast.
What's up, guys? Welcome into it. Hey, happy Friday, man. We are ready to rock and roll for your weekend, or to get you set for the weekend, man. It's been a crazy day. We are getting ready for Snowmageddon. When's it going to start? It should be happening relatively soon. So, yeah, we're going to have some fun. Michael Menard on the program, bottom of the hour, author of the book Greater Than Gravity. We'll talk about childhood trauma, and does that lead to health issues with the ongoing concern about the health pandemic? We'll chat about that and a heck of a lot more. Make sure to like it out, share it out, leave that comment, break the algorithm for your Friday. Let's have some fun today, shall we? We'll keep it somewhat lighthearted, a little bit. Come on.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin transmission.
Broadcasting from the heart of the nation, the next generation in conservative talk radio. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Boom. Here we are, my friends. Welcome into it, and welcome to a Friday. It is officially the beginning, the launch of Snowmageddon 2026. Who's ready for it? It's going to be a fun one. Over 50% of the country being covered in deep freezes and high winds and snow and ice and everything else that's going to be happening. I've been saying on the program, and I said this on, we've just filled in for Armed American Radio with Mark Walter, sat in for that one, and I just said it on there as well. It's okay. You can blame me. You can hate me all you want to. We have been doing the winter dance. I was not happy about our 75-degree Christmas in Kansas. I was really upset about our mid-60-degree temperatures on the first week of January here in Kansas. I was ready for actual winter time. We've been doing our voodoo magic in order to bring you your winter season. And here we are, man. We hit it hard and heavy, and it's going to be wild. Kansas, we're expected like 12 to 15 inches of snow and overnight temperatures with wind chill like negative 20 degrees. So that's pretty wild. I have said multiple times that if we purchase Greenland, I will be the first one to move to Greenland. Well, I think we did enough of our winter dancing that Greenland has now come to us. So here we are. Now, first and foremost, I want to say everybody be safe out there. I get it. It's going to be a wild season. I want you to be careful because if you lose power, that can be somewhat dangerous. I don't want to see pipes burst, and I hope everybody does stay careful out there. Fox News had a story on what this could look like for certain parts, especially that southern portion of the country, man. You guys need to be careful down there because this is, for the first time in years, certain portions of the country are giving a winter weather advisory, things that haven't happened in a very, very long time.
Where are you seeing the ice the most, and do you think the forecast right now matches some of the dire predictions that have been made so far?
I think so. One thing about an ice storm, it's a very difficult forecast. People who've lived through ice storms before, you can lose power for a week, 14 days, not out of the realm of possibility. We've seen those alerts get issued. Any time on our legend, we actually added a color. 3/4 of an inch of ice. I-95 Richmond will have to watch. Western North Carolina, the high country, even in South Carolina, Northeast Georgia, the Atlanta office, they've not issued an ice storm warning in 12 years.
12 years that we could see that. 3/4 of an inch of ice, that's a lot of ice. That's pretty wild, man. So, yeah, be careful. Be vigilant. Now, here's the thing. Us preppers, the ones that try to have at least enough supplies in there just in case something happens, we don't sound as crazy anymore, do we?
Winning.
Yeah, that's right. We're prepared for whatever may happen. So if we do lose power, then I'm all right. We'll hunker down. We can stay warm. We have some candles. We'll be able to keep our pipes warm, I hope. And so that way we don't see the pipes bursting. We have food in the house. We're ready to go. We have some water. I think we're going to be all right. Not worried about it. And I hope that most people do that as well. But they always laugh, oh, the tinfoil hat wearing preppers. Here in Kansas, and I'll move on from this, I promise. Here in Kansas, we used to have, under our former governor, Sam Brownback, that was our governor about 8 years ago, the last Republican that we had, he used to do October, I believe it was kind of the natural disaster preparedness month, trying to remind people that tornado season, we live in Kansas, bad things happen. You just need to be prepared in some aspect. But he had fun with it, and he called it zombie apocalypse preparedness because If you're prepared for a zombie apocalypse, then you're prepared for any natural disaster with power outages, with weather, with snow, with tornadoes, with anything. So be vigilant, be careful out there. It's going to be a wild weekend, and hopefully you do stay safe. So I kind of apologize, but not really, for doing our voodoo winter dance and trying to bring the cold front down here across the nation and bringing it from Greenland. If I can't move to Greenland, I invited Greenland to come down to us. And I'm all right with that. All right, bottom of the hour, we have Michael Menard on the program. He is author of the book Greater Than Gravity. We're going to talk about the Maha movement, health, but a deeper issue, childhood trauma. And I know a lot of people experience childhood trauma as they grow up. Does that contribute to certain health issues as an adult, and how do we work through those problems? So looking forward to that one for sure. That being said,
what's trending today?
A lot of things to cover today for sure. I have to first and foremost give major props. You guys out in Washington, D.C., there is the annual March for Life. I don't know. I feel really bad that it fell on the coldest, like, deep freeze winter advisory weekend of the entire year. But the March for Life people, that has not deterred them. That is still ongoing, and that is freaking awesome. So well done to you on that one. Vice President J.D. Vance speaking earlier today at the March for Life, advocating for pro-life agendas under the Trump administration, and that crowd still out there rocking it, man. That's usually that's a crowd that hits like 1 million plus people. I don't know if we're going to get that with the extreme colds, but I saw the crowd. It still looked like it was pretty substantial.
Now, I know a lot of us heard from the president just before this, so you know that he loves and cares deeply about this movement. And it's why he has fought for the pro-life cause and why we do it in this administration. And it's why 3 years ago, we cannot forget, he delivered and his Supreme Court justices delivered the most important Supreme Court decision of my lifetime. Because with the Dobbs decision, what we did, what the president did, what the Supreme Court did, was put a definitive end to the tyranny of judicial rule on the question of human life. He shattered a 50-year culture of disposability, one that treated human life as expendable the moment that it became inconvenient. And he empowered our nation and our movement to build a culture of life from the grassroots up.
All right, that's pretty awesome. So the pro-life movement, the March for Life going on in Washington, D.C., we'll cover that throughout the weekend. We'll cover that as well as it continues on. President Trump speaking, Vice President J.D. Vance speaking, and advocating for that right to life movement. That is an important one. And you know what? It shows the dedication of those that realize how important this issue is to show up in this bitter cold and do what they're doing. So well done. I applaud you, my friends. That's pretty incredible, and I thank you for standing firm on that. Well done. My hat is off to you on that one. All right, that being said, there's a lot of other issues that are happening, and as we wrap up this week, I don't know if you're aware or not, we are now 1 week away, not to like freak you out or anything, 1 week away until the end of January.
Say what?
That also means 1 week away until the potential government shutdown unless Congress passes their appropriations process. Now, that being said, the government shutdown, if it were to happen, is not going to be like it was in October. We funded the social programs. We funded the SNAP benefits. Those are all the way through this year. So even if the government shuts down, it really doesn't matter. And I got to admit, I'm kind of frustrated with how some Republicans handled this issue because we had primo opportunity with very limited damage that would happen if we stood our ground on some issues and actually did what we needed to do to codify the Trump agenda in this time right now with the appropriations, and we chose not to do so. With
what's trending today,
I want to take you to the story right now from, where is it here? I lost my spot. Okay, here we are. This one, according to Politico.com, where lawmakers now have funded in a 220 to 207 vote. I don't know if you realize what that means. That means 7 Democrats got on board with this. And that's bigly. That's really big for what this bill is because it funded different the last few agencies that hadn't been funded yet for the government shutdown deadline of January 30th. That include funding for Coast Guard, CBP, FEMA, TSA, overall the Department of Homeland Security. That includes Immigration and Customs Enforcement. And while there was some squabbling of what that bill may look like for the funding of ICE, redesigning uniforms, forcing them to not cover their faces, cutting off some of the different detention facility funding that we had across the nation, I don't believe any of that really made it into the bills. And 7 Democrats got on board to vote for this. So that's a big win right there. Now, obviously, there are some Democrats that were not very happy about that at all, including Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, our favorite person here on this program, who was asked about, of course, the funding for ICE and the appropriations process, and with the vote of a 220 to 207 vote, and was asked about, of course, what she thought on ICE in general.
ICE should be abolished, but there are many in your party who...
Hold on. This is a journalist, by the way. ICE should be abolished. Yeah, that's the unopinionated comment from the independent journalist, but okay.
ICE should be abolished, but there are many in your party who are not going that far. Is that a problem for you?
I think any step in the direction of reining in and cutting the funding of an agency that is attacking U.S. citizens, that are kidnapping 5-year-olds, that are using them as bait to open doors, and that are privately circulating that they can violate everyday Americans' constitutional rights by busting into their doors, they deserve to be defunded. I'll take any step in that direction.
Yeah, so obviously she was a no vote. I think we can assume that one, a no vote on this appropriations bill, because she wants the defunding of ICE, the radicalized group that tries to now play down the fact that they wanted to defund law enforcement, because no, we really didn't actually say that. We only wanted like social service people to be with law enforcement. We didn't want them to have that responsibility. We're actually looking out for law enforcement, is the excuse they tried to make, even though they openly said on video, on tape, that they wanted to defund police. But nonetheless, this is the same argument and the same people that are spouting this rhetoric now wanting to defund ICE. Even if you don't agree with some of the tactics and who they've arrested, which the 5-year-old story we debunked yesterday, it was very blatant. They were going after the father. The father took off running, abandoning his 5-year-old child with law enforcement while he took off. Then you have this, of course, photo op picture of this 5-year-old that's sitting there with law enforcement leaning up against the vehicle. It's not because they were arresting them or deporting them. That one's bunked. But the narrative is still out there to try and spout it for political purposes, and I don't think it's going to bode well for them for the midterm elections. That being said, the radicalized left is trying to hijack to defund ICE altogether. Obviously not working when 7 Democrats even get on board to vote with Republicans to pass that appropriations bill. Now, here's where we made the mistake, and we missed a major, huge, bigly opportunity. Donald Trump has been advocating for the abolishment of the Federal Department of Education, and he's been doing it for a while. We have Betsy DeVos that's out there. I'm sorry, not Betsy DeVos. Linda McMahon. That was the former Department of Education. Linda McMahon, who has cut the federal agents and federal employees working under the Department of Education by near 60 to 70%. Most of the duties have been relinquished to other agencies and other places. You know, the grants and student loans going to the Treasury Department. A lot of the curriculum coming back down to the states. A lot of the appropriating to higher grants and everything. They're all gone. Like, that's not what the Department of Education does any longer. But yet, the minibus bill that was passed earlier this week that did not include by this way with the Department of Homeland Security, the other one included funding for Department of Education. We didn't close the doors on it. And in my opinion, that was a major mistake. We had a prime opportunity. Because even though I don't think it would have gone through the Senate with their 60-vote majority that they need for the filibuster, we could have at least stood our ground, and if the Democrats put up their wall and they didn't want it to happen, they could shut down the government again by throwing their temper tantrum, and it wouldn't have caused as much harm as what the last one did back in October when they looked really, really dumb, and yet we still could have stood our ground and said, hey, we're trying to codify the Trump agenda. We really want to get a lot done. We're trying to go into midterm election to show that we're actually a do-something Republican Congress. They didn't do it, and it's really unfortunate. Department of Education, although it may have less money to it, I don't know what the details and the final numbers look like, we had the opportunity to finally say we're shutting the doors, because you know what's happening now? We're sending it to essentially a shell company. There's 20% of what was there before. It's basically skin and bones, just barely keeping things going under the department. Why would we spend money on it to keep the doors open when we're trying to close it all together? And to make a promise to the American people that they're going to work with the Trump administration, they're going to try and codify the agenda from Donald Trump. This would have been the primo opportunity to do so, and they failed on actually making that happen. So I'm glad we got the appropriations done for ICE. I'm glad we got the Department of Homeland Security funded. That's really important. We could have gone a lot further on a lot of other bills. They could have made some drastic changes, and they could have used that to the nth degree during campaign season. Drop the ball on that one. Really unfortunate. Got to take a break. When we come back around the corner, other big news happening today. The social media site of TikTok, these are for the younger gen users that like to use that social media platform, will be staying in the U.S. We'll cover that when we come back. Stay here.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
When America builds, the world follows. Our energy powered the 20th century. We've set the standard for generations, and we never waited for permission. But now, we're being held back. Outdated rules, endless delays. Without permitting reform, Washington's red tape is slowing us down while other nations race ahead. It doesn't have to be this way. We can clear the way for energy that's affordable, reliable, and built right here. Because what's built here is felt here. Lower costs, more jobs, stronger communities. That's what permitting reform makes possible. Energy didn't just shape our country, it powered the American dream. And with our innovation, we can lead the 21st century. Congress has a choice. Build America's energy future or risk falling behind. Tell Congress, pass permitting reform now.
Miss any part of the show? Well, don't worry. Now's your chance to go find the podcast and listen to as much of the Voice of Reason as you'd like. As the show continues to grow all across the nation with great radio affiliates, we also continue to grow as one of the top conservative podcasts, ranked 5th on the MillionPodcast.com Best 50 Conservative Leadership Podcasts in the nation, and number 1 on FeedSpot.com's 30 Best Conservative Talk Shows in the country. The show continues to grow each and every day. Just find us on any of your favorite podcasting sites at The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser. Hey, did you know that you can have multiple different networks on one single smartphone? Well, with Patriot Mobile, you can. It's time for you to sign up for the Patriot Mobile primary phone plan with plans as low as $15 a month, where you can have 2 numbers and 2 networks on one single phone. And right now, if you sign up using the promo code REASON, you can get an entire month absolutely free. It's the Patriot Mobile One plan. 1 phone, 2 numbers, and 2 networks. And it's all at patriotmobile.com/reason. Again, patriotmobile.com, and use the promo code REASON.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? How did 2 guys in a cramped California garage reimagine the phone and put the power of the universe at our fingertips? At Americans for Prosperity, we believe greatness can happen anywhere. We just need freedom and the opportunity to make it real. But today, with a rigid system stifling progress, limiting creativity, and holding us back. That's why at AFP, we offer solutions that tackle the most critical challenges facing our country, so there's nothing standing in the way of America's next breakthrough. Because what we build today doesn't just shape the future, it defines it. How will you be defined? Take your first step today with Americans for Prosperity.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever, every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
When reason meets radio. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Yeah, welcome back to the program. Great to have you. I am watching the headlines right now on Drudge Report, Fox News, other news cycles right now that say that the Arctic freeze blast has begun. So if you are listening live or listening later on or the podcast later on, be safe, be careful out there, and be vigilant. with the craziness. I will be probably outside in my swimming trunks making snow angels by tomorrow in the ice. But nonetheless, it's all right. Be safe, be careful, and take care of yourselves. Try not to be on the road. Just take some time off. Hunker down in your bunker in the house, and tune into the program and listen to us there. We'll always be here for you to entertain you any way that we possibly can. By the way, I want to tell you about my friends over at Lean. As you know that we've been taking this, the New Year's resolution still happening. If you are going to sit at home, maybe get some exercise, do some breathing, do some stuff, work up that cardio a little bit and lose some of that weight, burn off that stuff that you've done during the holiday season. By the time the average person hits 60 years old, they've lost and regained several hundred pounds. Doctors call it weight cycling, and a lot of Americans do it. When you lose weight, then you gain it back, usually gain a little bit more. It's really tough on your body. It's especially tough on your organs, and it leaves you really, really frustrated. Most people need help losing weight, and here's a great way to do it. Try non-prescription Lean. It was founded by doctors. It's an oral supplement, not like the GLP-1s and the injections, and the science is really cool. It helps maintain healthy blood sugar. It controls your appetite and your cravings, and it helps by burning fat by converting it to energy. And when you burn fat, that helps keep the weight off in general. If you want to lose meaningful weight at a healthy pace and make sure to keep it off, add Lean to your diet and your exercise lifestyle. My listeners right now get 20% off when you go to the website at takelean.com and use the promo code REASON at checkout, REASON. Go to takelean.com and use the promo code REASON. All right, so big news to wrap up this week, of course, the social media site of TikTok. And I really enjoy talking about this because obviously we have a little bit of a younger demographic for the podcast and radio listener. And I use TikTok. A lot of my listeners use TikTok. And it's been a point of conversation. Should we have it in the United States because of the owning of ByteDance in the nation of China? First off, I want to encourage you. We have a guest coming on the syndicated program this weekend. You're not going to want to miss that. Casey Fleming, he wrote a book on the threats that China is and what they may be to the United States. We're going to ask him about the conversation on where this deal is and whether this actually helps that deal or that concern with China that could be surveilling us for whatever reason, surveilling our purchasing habits and our interests and the misinformation they try to spread out there and whatever they try to do to the brainwashing of the next generation with social media. But now that we have this deal that's made in a $14 billion deal giving the U.S. version of their TikTok raising concerns about what's next for the social media app, that now the question is it safe and is it okay? Now, the details are still coming out, but it sounds like there's a few different businesses that are actually part of this deal. The Silicon Valley giant company known as Oracle, along with the private equity firm of Silver Lake, will own more than 80% of the company. And if I remember correct, one of those, probably the Silver Lake, they're also the parent company as well over Paramount. And for those that don't know, Paramount Plus, they've been making some big gains with the Paramount app for your video streaming services. They're the ones that purchased South Park for like $300 million. They purchased the UFC, and not purchased, but they're the media rights for the UFC now. This weekend, I am excited. I'll give them a shout out. It is the first free UFC fight on Paramount Plus. So if you have Paramount, all you got to do is purchase it, and you can watch the UFC fight free on this weekend. If we still have power, that's my weekend. I'm hunkering down, and I'm watching a UFC fight, which I cannot wait. But I believe that the parent company of that is Silver Lake. I could be wrong. It might be another one of the companies as part of this because there's three of them in general. But those two big ones, Oracle and Silver Lake, own now 80% of the company that draws 66 million users daily in the United States on TikTok. It is a major economic driver with small businesses that create their shops on TikTok. It is a major portion. And will we see better security measures of TikTok? That's the question. Or the narrative that could change. Or will we just be surveilling ourselves now like we do with X and with Facebook and YouTube and Google and our emails and our phones? And
this is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. Fighting for conservative principles seems more difficult all the time. The progressive left finds new and creative ways to limit freedom, abuse power, and trample the Constitution each and every day. That's why we need the knowledge, resources, and common sense to push back. And that's where we can help. Head to our website at HooserReason.com. There you can find our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Let us know your thoughts on current events with different surveys and chat rooms. And keep track of what I might be doing or where I may be speaking. Plus, when you head to the website, you can always get great deals and different offers from all of our great radio partners. Finally, if you want more of the show, you can find our podcasts with all of our great episodes and your favorite guests. And make sure to check out the latest Voice of Reason infomercials and maybe some other special content. And it's all because of you being part of the Hoosier-holic family. Let's continue to fight for conservative common sense principles together by going to HooserReason.com. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? How did two guys in a cramped California garage reimagine the phone and put the power of the universe at our fingertips? At Americans for Prosperity, we believe greatness can happen anywhere. We just need freedom and the opportunity to make it real. But today, with a rigid system stifling progress, limiting creativity, and holding us back. That's why at AFP, we offer solutions that tackle the most critical challenges facing our country, so there's nothing standing in the way of America's next breakthrough. Because what we build today doesn't just shape the future, it defines it. How will you be defined? Take your first step today with Americans for Prosperity.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever, every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? Our country's greatest breakthroughs were born from bold ideas and the ability to take one small step forward. At Americans for Prosperity, freedom and opportunity find their defenders. Because our country's next giant leap is just around the corner. Are you ready to step up?
Hey, the live show may be almost over today, but it doesn't have to be for you. As always, enjoy the Voice of Reason with our daily podcast by finding the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser on any of your favorite podcasting sites. Just find us, subscribe, have it automatically downloaded, and listen at your convenience whenever you want to bring some more reason into your day. And a lot of people are doing it. Also, you can always find the video of the show, along with articles, additional commentary, and maybe a few sarcastic remarks by following us on our social media. Stay up to date with everything going on with the show, including upcoming guests, breaking news stories, interesting articles, and maybe some memes. Help us in the ongoing battle with censorship and shadow banning from social media by following us on the social media at Hoosier Reason on all of our social media sites. For all these social media links, podcast links, contact information, or just general information of the show, go to our website at HooserReason.com. There you can listen live every day, read our latest monthly blog, find our radio affiliate list, or even listen to our latest infomercials and special content. Plus, you can always reach out to the program by sending me a message on social media, emailing us at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com, or sending an email through our website at HooserReason.com. Whether it's content on the show, whether it's a guest that you've liked or disliked, or whether you want to disagree with me, and disagreements always appreciated. While you're there, make sure to sign up for our monthly newsletter. Each month you'll get the latest update on the show, updates from the Hooser Media Network, and our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Finally, if you want to help support the show, become a member of our Patreon site and help us fight for the cause of truth, reason, and common sense every day, and get more of the same by becoming the ultimate Hoosier-holic. Get additional interviews that sometimes we don't always get to air on the radio. Hear our special segments or even our infomercials before anyone else, and have a chance to chat with other great Hoosier-holics from all over. By becoming a Patreon subscriber, you're not only helping the fight for conservative values, you're helping us get more content and information out through the Hooser Media Network. Find out more information.
Truth, reason, and common sense. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Yeah, it is. What's up? Welcome back into it. It is the Voice of Reason on your Friday on the home stretch here. Moving through the program, trying to cram that 10 pounds of reason into that 5-pound bag, trying to rebrand the millennial generation, one radio listener at a time. I am curious if you are part of the Ute of America and you use TikTok quite a bit. I'm curious, or if you're not and you don't use TikTok, send us a message on our website, HooserReason.com. And I want to hear, is it a good idea, bad idea? I want to know more details. But here's the thing. I get the concerns, the security, and then we'll move on, I promise. I get the security concerns of China. ByteDance, the militarizing, and it is very scary with the threat that China does pose to the United States, what they're trying to do. They are spreading a lot of misinformation. They are collecting a lot of data. They are corrupting the culture of the United States from inside without having to fire a single shot. And that is very concerning that we need to be aware of in society. As a whole, that is something that we should very much so pay attention to. That being said, I would like to remind you that under the Biden administration, and this hopefully isn't happening as much under the Trump administration, but when the pendulum swings back, whether that's in 2 years, whether it's in 4 years, whether it's in 10 years, it doesn't matter. At some point, the pendulum will swing back. What will they be gathering in information from the United States and from our own consumers and the citizens? Joe Biden said that they were monitoring our social media and our bank accounts, and pretty much said that we are domestic terrorists and they were not allowing us to purchase firearms. We are under certain watches. We weren't allowed to fly, whatever the case was. And they were collecting our own data through our own social media, and then doesn't allow any type of information coming in from outside servers, outside social media sites owned from foreign countries that come in, or foreign businesses that come in, and we weren't allowed to get that type of intelligence or information at all. So I'm very skeptical about us owning all of it because, well, that just means that we're going to have the same thing that we get from all the other ones, and that our own government's collecting data on us, and I don't like that. No, I don't like that at all. By the way, I want you to go to the website while you're there, sending us a message at HooserReason.com. There is a bingo card right on our homepage. We have created our 2026 political bingo card of the year, and I think some of it's about to come true and happen. So print it off. It's a PDF file. You can print it off, put it on your refrigerator, and that way you can follow along and check mark all the crazy things that could happen this year for 2026. It's going to be a wild one because already people are starting to turn on, let's say, like Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. Yeah, he's the new one. I know he's not Arnold, but he's still the suave elite type that likes to hang out with the Hollywood types. That he's starting to be turned on. Stephen A. Smith, who I have respect for. He's a Democrat. He's a progressive, but he's not a radical one, and he calls out the Democrats quite a bit. He went off on Gavin Newsom after this week's World Economic Forum.
Gavin Newsom. Respectfully, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're the governor of the state of California in the United States of America.
Okay, hold on. So just to preface this, so this was after Gavin Newsom went to the World Economic Forum. He was angry that he didn't get time to speak because apparently he thinks he's the leader of the U.S. He trolled other nations for even going along with Donald Trump and even brought like handcuffs or a leash or something because they thought that, he was making fun of them, saying that they're puppets of Donald Trump going along with his agenda or agreeing or even liking him, and then angry that he didn't have a chance to speak as a guy who's not the leader of the United States. That's a little weird when he should be focused on, I don't know, being governor of the state of California, and Stephen A. Smith not having it.
Why are you over in Davos, Switzerland, talking to folks and speaking negatively about the president of the United States? I have no problem with Gavin Newsom being candid and open about his feelings about our president on United States soil. To go over to another country, Switzerland, to go over there and to be in the presence of other European leaders speaking against the president of the United States. I'm not down with that. Y'all might be. I'm not down with that.
Very passionate guy. I get it. It makes sense. Look, you can criticize us on our home front. I always use this analogy, and I usually use it within the Republican Party because we do a really good job at eating ourselves up. And, you know, we're going into primary process for governor's candidates or congressional seats or whatever, and we have these challenges. I get it. And I always use the analogy, if you're part of an Italian family, then you'll recognize this analogy. I've been around Italian families quite a bit. One of my best friends has a very strong Italian family. That you have the loudness, the bickering, the smacking on the back of the head, the bickering among the family internally. But if you mess with the family outside of that, if you're not part of the family and you mess with them, then you mess with the entire family, right? And I use this analogy for Republicans because we do a really good job at bickering amongst ourselves in primaries. We go vicious against each other. We challenge our ideas. And I love that concept because we are a very strong party because of that, because we're able to challenge each other, but understand for the most part that we're all moving in generally the same direction. And that's a healthy party. It's a healthy family. But what we should do is after the primary election and we go into the general election, we shouldn't have this bitter taste of that Republican's no better than a Democrat. I won't support them. I'd rather have a Democrat in office than the Republican because they're just as bad and I want that record on a Democrat's hands, not on a Republican's, right? You've heard that before. You know it. You've heard that mentality, and in fact, you might be one of those yourself. And I strongly encourage you to say, hey, wait a second. That's not true. There are very many rhino Republicans out there. There are very many Republicans in name only that really promote Democrat values. But at least there's a chance of holding them accountable through the Republican Party, through the special interests that support the Republican Party and that support that candidate with an R in front of their name, that there's at least a way better chance of holding them and at least holding them accountable a little bit more than if a Democrat's running rampant. So I completely say that that argument is completely bogus, and Republicans in general have to do a way better job of actually uniting and getting back on the same foot and being happier with each other after a primary on whatever stage, presidential, Senate, Congress, governors, it doesn't matter. We have to do a better job of that as Republicans. On the grander scale, that same principle applies, in my opinion, to Republicans and Democrats or anybody else internally within the nation. We are in America first. And I get this is the challenging part. Right now, we have a party that's on the other side, the Democrats, that really just despise America. And I don't say that in like a hyperbolic fashion. They openly say they do not like the United States of America. They burn the American flag. They say that we're now some Nazi regime just because their candidate didn't get into office. They say that the ICE is just the Gestapo coming to take people. The Democrat elected officials are literally saying that Donald Trump is in a tyrannical regime and that we're not the United States anymore. Like, they don't see things through the lens of, it's just a political difference. I can disagree with the policy. I don't like the direction we're going, but we're still Americans and we're still the greatest nation on the face of the earth. Because they honestly say that we want to fundamentally transform the United States of America. Capitalism's evil. Our entire history of the United States and our founding fathers are based on white privilege, racism, slavery, so on and so forth, and that they want to shred all of it and just start over from scratch with a communist utopian mindset. That's what they want. So it's hard to make the argument nowadays, but at the end of the day, we're still all Americans. And if you don't like America, then you can leave. You can get out. I mean, it's really not that difficult. And do we have that? I don't think I have that clip anymore. No, sorry. I had the trip of, you don't like America, you can get out. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
All right, that's close enough. But he's right. Stephen A. Smith is right. Gavin Newsom can criticize Donald Trump all he wants to here in the United States. You're the governor of California. You can make the criticism to Donald Trump all you want to. You can criticize policy. You can get angry about Donald Trump and even pass state legislation, which they're working on right now, really funny, to try and keep Donald Trump off of the 2028 presidential election because he swears up and down Donald Trump's going to run for a third term. They're literally passing state legislation to ban Donald Trump off the ballot for a third term, even though Donald Trump is not running for a third term, and the trolling is absolutely epic. So they're trying that. So you can spout whatever you want to internally, domestically, as a nation with two different political sides. But once you step foot out of the United States, we are American. We have American values. We stand for the United States of America, and whether you like it or not, Donald Trump is the leader of the United States, and it's really that simple. And Gavin Newsom doesn't quite get that, and I applaud Stephen A. Smith for calling him out for that kind of shenanigans. That it does reinforce, and this goes back to the bingo card we have on our website, it does reinforce the idea that Gavin Newsom, more than likely very, very soon, will be announcing his run for presidency of the United States. And is it going to go well with the response? With Democrat pundits going after him? Probably not. Probably not. And then I ask again what the success rate or what the platform is actually going to be for those candidates. That leads us to
what's trending today.
The news that we heard today, I don't know if you're aware of this or not, Kash Patel and the FBI arresting another individual, another drug kingpin, and someone who's apparently a former Olympian? That I have not heard this name. I don't follow the Olympics, so I don't really know. But apparently this is a former Olympian that has now become a drug kingpin that has now been arrested in the nation of Mexico.
And just to tell you how bad of a guy Ryan Wedding is, he went from an Olympic snowboarder to the largest narco trafficker in modern times. He is a modern-day El Chapo. He is a modern-day Pablo Escobar. And he thought he could evade justice. But these brave men and women put together a prosecution package, put together an investigative package, put together an operation strategy, and here we are today, bringing him to justice for trafficking hundreds of kilos of cocaine and also for the murder of innocent civilians.
That's pretty wild. I was not aware of this case, but what happens when you allow good cops to do their job is you get bad guys. How many people off the FBI's most wanted list is that now? In 1 year? Not even a full year. I mean, Kash Patel really got confirmed, what, in March or April because of all the process and how long it took? So less than a year, let's say 8 months. We got 2, 3, 4 different FBI most wanted lists off of the list, allowing the FBI, allowing law enforcement to do their job. And all the media can do is complain about how bad that the administration's actually running under Kash Patel and Pam Bondi. All that Gavin Newsom can do is worry about open borders and allowing illegals to come in through the southern border of California and other areas and say that they're going to protect them. Because apparently they want this mindset while he's on the global stage talking about all the great things he plans to do for the nation. Come on, man. Lots more coming up.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Big government is broken. Every year, politicians fail to pass a budget as the deficit continues to grow. Every month, unelected bureaucrats pile on rules no one voted for, strangling our economy. And every day, D.C.'s broken system gets in the way of the American dream. Washington isn't working, and the people pay the price. At Americans for Prosperity, we believe it's time to fix the system. Now, join the movement to make government work.
Oh, hey, sorry, I was just enjoying one of my snacks during the break. You know, it's hard to find good quality snacks without all the unhealthy additives, but I'm here to tell you that problem is over. It's time to enjoy J&S Smoked Snacks. Real cuts of beef, real wood smoke, and real flavor that's crafted in small batches to keep every bag fresh. And with numerous different flavors, you'll never get enough. This is not your average gas station jerky. It's J&S Smoked Snacks. Find them online at jssmokedsnacks.com and tell them I sent you.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever, every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? Our country's greatest breakthroughs were born from bold ideas and the ability to take one small step forward. At Americans for Prosperity, freedom and opportunity find their defenders. Because our country's next giant leap is just around the corner. Are you ready to step up?
Hey, the live show may be almost over today, but it doesn't have to be for you. As always, enjoy the Voice of Reason with our daily podcast by finding the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser on any of your favorite podcasting sites. Just find us, subscribe, have it automatically downloaded, and listen at your convenience whenever you want to bring some more reason into your day. And a lot of people are doing it. Also, you can always find the video of the show, along with articles, additional commentary, and maybe a few sarcastic remarks by following us on our social media. Stay up to date with everything going on with the show, including upcoming guests, breaking news stories, interesting articles, and maybe some memes. Help us in the ongoing battle with censorship and shadow banning from social media by following us on the social media at Hooser Reason on all of our social media sites. For all the social media links, podcast links, contact information, or just general information of the show, go to our website at HooserReason.com. There you can listen live every day, read our latest monthly blog, find our radio affiliate list, or even listen to our latest infomercials and special content. Plus, you can always reach out to the program by sending me a message on social media, emailing us at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com, or sending an email through our website at HooserReason.com. Whether it's content on the show, whether it's a guest that you've liked or disliked, or whether you want to disagree with me, and disagreement's always appreciated. While you're there, make sure to sign up for our monthly newsletter. Each month, you'll get the latest update on the show, updates from the Hooser Media Network, and our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Finally, if you want to help support the show, become a member of our Patreon site and help us fight for the cause of truth, reason, and common sense every day, and get more of the same by becoming the ultimate Hoosierholic. Get additional interviews that sometimes we don't always get to air on the radio. Hear our special segments or even our infomercials before anyone else, and have a chance to chat with other great Hoosierholics from all over. By becoming a Patreon subscriber, you're not only helping the fight for conservative values, you're helping us get more content and information out through the Hooser Media Network. Find out more information online at HooserReason.com. Lastly, follow and support all of our partners with the show. The Voice of Reason has been growing more and more every year, and it's because of so many great partners helping us get the message out to you. From show partners to local radio affiliates in your area to streaming sites, podcasting sites, and more, we have so many supporters and listeners now than ever before, and we want to thank you. It's time to bring back common sense, and we do it right here every day with the Voice of Reason.
America's safe space for common sense. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
And just to tell you how bad of a guy Ryan Wedding is, he went from an Olympic snowboarder to the largest narco trafficker in modern times. He is a modern-day El Chapo. He is a modern-day Pablo Escobar. And he thought he could evade justice. But these brave men and women put together a prosecution package, put together an investigative package, put together an operation strategy, and here we are today bringing him to justice for trafficking hundreds of kilos of cocaine and also for the murder of innocent civilians.
That's crazy, man. I, again, was not even aware of this case and the fact that he was doing what he was doing, an Olympic snowboarder. That is really unfortunate. I miss snowboarding. We have a lot of weather going on, a lot of winter weather that's happening this weekend. Maybe I might bust out the old snowboard this weekend. What do you think? It's going to be cold, but by golly, it'd be great snowboarding weather, right? Right? Maybe? 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 Absolutely crazy. Hey, want to tell you about my friends over at Americans for Prosperity as we go into the 250th birthday of the nation, and we have this ongoing hatred against the United States. That's not a good look for the 250. We should be proud of being American, even if we don't agree with certain policy. We still live in the greatest nation on the face of the earth, and we have to continue to spread that and make that be the message for the year. And if I'm telling you, if Republicans, even with not all of the best policy making or the lack of productivity or codifying Trump's agenda in the federal level, even if they don't do that, if they run a positive, patriotic campaign this year, it's going to be leaps and bounds ahead of what any Democrat's going to be doing who's going to say, Donald Trump's evil. Like, that's all they have. That's all they have. Republicans have got to do that, but we have to understand the greatness of this of the nation and the greatness of the average American that stood to rise to the challenge of their times and the challenges that faced them at that time, even today, and how we can do that as the average American today. Go to takeonesmallstep.com. Takeonesmallstep.com. You can get the history, sign up. It's completely free, and you can learn about it. Your family, your friends, your neighbors, your kids, your grandkids, it doesn't matter. Learn about the greatness of this nation. Learn about what we can do to be the innovators in this country. Learn about how we can fight the challenges of our times and continue to make America great for another 250 years with TakeOneSmallStep.com and our friends over at Americans for Prosperity. By the way, with the drug issue, the crime issue, where law enforcement's able to just do law things and we're deporting illegal aliens, illegal aliens out of the nation. We're cracking down on these criminals that are drug traffickers, human traffickers. We're getting rid of the cartels. We arrested Nicolas Maduro. We arrested this guy now out of Mexico. We're not afraid to just go and get the bad guys now. Do you realize what that's doing to the crime rates of the nation? 1 year, by the way, 1 year. We see these little fluctuations, 5% up here, 5% down here, and all these administrations in the past, they use this as talking points about how great they were or what we need to work on or whatever. These numbers are pretty impressive. In 1 year under the Trump administration in 2025, these according to the Department of Justice and the FBI, in 1 year alone, 21% decrease in homicides across the nation.
Say what?
Pretty impressive. Carjackings in total, 43% decrease across the nation.
Say what?
20% decrease in overdoses across the nation.
Say what?
I know. You're probably getting tired of hearing that. All right, I'll stop. The point is, in 1 year, we've seen these decreases. Now, what's changed? Law enforcement allowing to do law enforcement-y things. The cleaning up of the streets in Washington, D.C. You want to look like what an Insurrection Act looked like? That's what an Insurrection Act looked like from the Trump administration, putting in National Guard, cleaning up the streets, getting rid of the tent cities, not allowing people just to linger in the streets as a homeless person, getting them the mental health services that they need, getting them back on their feet and giving them opportunities to go out and actually sit on their feet and build a foundation again, getting rid of the drug overdoses, cutting off the border with the flood of the drugs and fentanyl coming in, getting rid of Nicolas Maduro with the drugs that were trafficking in from Venezuela, and now arresting these types of drug dealers out of Mexico as well. The president of Mexico not very happy as they continue to try and get money from the cartels to push back on this, but we don't care, man. We just don't care. We're not dealing with it any longer. We want action. And while we're frustrated about the lack of action, meaning conservative Republicans, in other areas, we're seeing the numbers. The golden age economically is starting to come this year. And now we're seeing the crime that's going down. Feeling safer to walk around the streets at night, knowing that there's not as many bad guys. Why? Because we're putting pressure on law enforcement to get the job done. And the places where it's really, really, really bad, we're finally saying we're going to send in National Guard. Get her done. Let's take care of these issues. 43% decrease in carjackings, probably because of Second Amendment laws as well, where more states and more cities actually have the right to carry firearms in the community. And if someone sees you hijacking their car, probably not going to end well for you on that front. So well done. We give you another round of applause for what we can do there. That's really cool. So thank you. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, we got it. That being said, everybody stay warm. It's going to be a very extremely cold weekend. Enjoy that cold front for a winter season. We're back at it again before you know it. Until then, be your own voice of reason. I'm Andy Hooser. We'll see you on the radio. Bye. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. You know, when I get off the air every day, the battle for me against limited government, censorship, and even unfactual content is far from over. That's why now I'm so happy to say that the Hooser Media Network is giving you more opportunity to catch the voice of reason along with other great shows and podcasts. It's been a long time in the works, and now you can finally enjoy more great content, services, and topical shows. We're the safe space for alternative talk, information, and ideas that the mainstream media absolutely hates. From holistic and alternative medicine, discussions on religion and spirituality, pure entertainment shows, and of course yours truly with the voice of reason. Plus, we offer numerous media services, including helping you set up your own podcast. Become your own voice of reason and bring your expertise to any fun issue or topic. For information on all of our shows, links to podcasts, each show website or social media link, or to find out about everything we do to challenge the mainstream establishment, visit our website at HooserMedia.com. Again, that's HooserMedia.com, the future of media.